Hi, everybody. I'm sorry we're a few minutes late. We had a few technical glitches, but we are here with you. Welcome to GemWise for May. I hope you are ready for tonight. I am beyond, as usual. Hope you're excited. We are talking about octahedral stones tonight, and I have a lot to tell you. Hi. Hello. I have so much to tell you tonight. I've got a ton of notes. I have a ton of tabs open on my laptop right now to show you different things if we have time. I hope you had a great start to your day, and I hope that that you're excited about class. So excited to see you. Okay, so tonight we have a lot. I'm going to start by talking to you about some products in the shop that you might be interested in. First of all, you know that your June set is in the shop today. If you have not purchased your June tools, please head over and do that. Keep in mind right now, if you spend $30 on the website today, you're going to get a free bottle of Mega Money perfume. So that's why I'm going to show you kind of what's happening while there's a good offer happening. Plus, you guys in Holistic Healer have 15% off. So I want to talk to you about product. Then we're going to talk about everything tonight, and we're going to do a little intention setting for the new moon. Are you excited? We're going to do a little ritual tonight. I thought that was really cool. Also, by the way, any purchase on sagegoddess.com today, so even if you don't spend $30, is going to come with a free set of these. I wear mine on my shoulder. You can do them down your leg. I've done that too. It's kind of sexy on the shoulder. We have a client who does them down her back because she always wears these beautiful sort of backless shirts. I feel sexier when I have something sort of down my shoulder. And the way I wear my shawls and things, I always have my left shoulder exposed. So these are free to you today. These ones, I will say, look really, really pretty around your ankle, especially this one. You can put this on your foot, sort of pointing towards your toes, especially in the summer when you're wearing your flip-flops and things. So yes, so there's no minimum purchase for these. In fact, every purchase you make, you're going to get another set. So some people have been making a few purchases today to get a few free sets of their moon flash tattoos. So let me show you some of the things that I think are really relevant for you, since I only get to see you a couple times a month. I have 3 giveaways tonight. 3 giveaways tonight. Here's one. It's a blue fluorite octahedron. Here's 2. Fluorite and spinellin matrix. Here's 3. This is one of the rarest things I own. Part of me can hardly believe I'm giving one away. It's a scanner crystal. If you're in sabbatical, this has a full second termination. It is Tibetan. This is a master healer crystal. If you are a healer, I wouldn't even know what to charge for this, to be honest. It would probably be between $300 and $400 because of how rare it is, because of how clear it is. I've done some work with it, so it's coming to you with some pretty intense stuff attached to it. So I'm glad you're excited about that. By the way, those don't even exist. I can't even make a listing for you. They just don't even exist. I had 2 like this. So you get one, I get one. So anyway, there's no more of those to be found. So whoever gets that tonight is getting a very rare treasure. Even the person who sold them to me said, don't come back to me looking for more of this. That's okay. There's no more to be had. So we have giveaways, but let me start by talking to you a little bit about product. Now tonight, we're going to be talking about Metatron's Cube, because Metatron's Cube is octagonal. It's also hexagonal. I mean, Metatron's Cube is all the sacred geometry. So if you missed the sticker that we made, once I start teaching you about Metatron's Cube tonight, you're probably going to want this. So I want you to know that these are in the shop as a beautiful way. And we did that, by the way, we did the platonic solids all the way around the sticker. Did you see? It'd be a fun one to put on your computer or on a notebook that you have. So that's kind of just a fun, cheap, but magical way. And by the way, these stickers can also be used as grids. So you can make a mini grid on this with chipstones and then a generator in the center. And when I tell you about Metatron's Cube is a holy glyph. It is a portal to 13 different dimensions, okay? And you have 13 chakras, by the way. We talk about 7, but you have 13. And so it's a portal to these 13 dimensions of reality, including the 13 dimensions of your own energy centers. If you want to activate some powerful healing for your body, this could be a little healing grid for you. Wait till I teach you. Okay, and then let me show you the other things that I think you should know about. Let me get my little tray. So there isn't a lot left, but I'm telling you first, there's just a few dozen left of the labradorite palm stones that are printed with the new moon, which should be your intention setting stone for every new moon. These are all on the website, so you'll be able to find them. And in fact, my team might be able to actually put a link, because they're watching live too. They might be able to put a link for you directly to these products so that you can find them easily. This would help you get the free perfume. Remember, if you spend $30, don't forget to say riches so you get your Mega Money perfume. We have natural fluorite in the shop today too. Purple, beautiful, natural, crown chakra, clarity, connection, divine wisdom, and inspiration. So those pieces are in the shop too. My ring is hurting my finger. We have chimpy stones. Just a few left of the chimpies. These also relate to the numbers 9 and 13, so we're going to talk about these tonight too. And so the chimpies, if you haven't worked with chimpies, are in the store. And I think that's all I wanted to tell you about tonight. Do you guys have any questions? I know, rock shopping. Is there anything better? These are coming to the shop. These are fluorite tea light holders. Are those beautiful? Look how thick they are. Isn't that just the most beautiful tea light holder you've ever seen? So these aren't in the shop yet, but they're coming. They're on order, and so they'll be here in just a couple of days. Let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you about. Oh, actually, I have one more giveaway. So I have the 3 specimens I showed you, and then I have a complete set of octahedral stones, including cuprite, galaxite, fluorite, spinel. There's actually 2 pieces of fluorite. There's a purple fluorite that also has sphalerite in it, and pyrite, and then there's a full pyrite octahedron too. So you'll have a full set of stones to activate the energy of tonight, which is around clarity and manifestation. So that's a giveaway too. So I have 4 giveaways. I know. Well, I like you to know what's there. The other thing I want to tell you about tonight, just because it's come up in our group a lot, and I want to make sure you know, so a lot of you have been asking about protection stones, stones to, protect you, but that aren't too heavy for you to work with. Petalite is my favorite protection stone. I think you've heard me say that. And petalite is in the shop too, so I want to make sure you know it's there. It doesn't have the same crystal structure as tonight, but because you guys have been asking about protection stones, I wanted to mention it. I call petalite the white velvet glove. It's grounding and protective, but it's not heavy. It doesn't sort of drop you in the way hematite and obsidian and onyx and all of those stones do. So if you don't have petalite, that's another thing you should add to your collection, and we have it in stock. Sometimes we don't. I'm so glad you guys like it. Okay, so that's all of that I wanted to tell you about. I have my tools for tonight right here. I'm going to light my charcoal disc to get my incense going before we get started. Now, a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight, as with every GemWise class, is sacred geometry, right? I mean, sacred geometry is our focus when we work with crystal structure and when we're analyzing crystal structure. And, it's really funny to me, in all of my academic days and training, I'm so glad you guys are, I love giving things to you. I really do. I mean, I wish I had something for literally everybody who was watching. That's why we do our gift with purchase. In a way, I do. It's flash tattoos, right? So everybody gets something today, kind of like that. So just working with the ceremonial incense. I need to light it a little bit better than I did. I've got kind of a funky charcoal disc tonight. So just moving this around, and I've been saging a little bit extra because at the new and the full moon, you need to sage more than usual. There's just kind of unstable energy sometimes at the new and full moon, and so it's an important time to make sure, there we go, to make sure that you are smudging. That Palo Santo is so beautiful. Giving is important. Have you noticed that people who are good at manifesting give a lot. People who are not good at manifesting are stingy. And I think there's a connection. And the reality is, I mean, we're here to give. It shocks people sometimes how much we give away. I mean, we, in a year, because I give away $10,000 worth of stones during the Tucson Gem Show, and I give away another $10,000 usually worth of stones during the Denver Gem Show. Across the entire show, right, across the entire 2 or 3 weeks. So I would say over the course of the year, we probably give away $40,000 worth of stones a year. Ever think about that? And it's because we want stones to connect with people. We really feel like we have an intuitive sense of where the stones belong, and that's part of our mission, is to make sure that we are getting stones in the hands of people who need them. It's our pleasure and it's our joy to do that. And I also give my team permission to give anything pretty much to anybody at any time. So if they're working on an order and they feel called to give a stone away, they are entitled to do that without permission. They don't have to come and say, hey, can I give this person a tumbled stone? Can I send them an extra thing? They absolutely can. They are encouraged and supported. My team is to give, which is really fun too, because it gives them the creativity and the space to say, I'm sensing something. I feel like this person really needs this thing, and they don't have to ask permission for that. So I think that's really special too. I encourage you to give. And my favorite thing growing up, my mom used to say, give even when you think you can't. We didn't have a lot when I was growing up at all. I came from an immigrant family, and we did not have a lot. We watched every penny and every dollar. But if there was ever a single person asking for money anywhere, a single person anywhere asking for money, my mom would stop. She would stop her car. She would stop her car in the middle of an intersection and give that person food or money or something. And I'm sure sometimes, they weren't on the up and up, right? As I got older, I used to ask her, Mom, like, what if they don't really need the money? You know what I mean? As a kid, right? 12, 13, 14 years old, I'd be like, what if they don't really need it? And my mom looked at me and she said, who are you? Who are you to judge that? And so I say the same thing to my kids now. Because my kids used to give freely, but as they get older, they start going, I don't know, and maybe that's less for me. And so my daughter asked me not too long ago, how do you know that man needs that money? And I looked at her and I said, who are you? I believe angels walk among us, and who are we to decide who needs, right? Maybe they don't need it today, but maybe they'll need it next week. I think it's really human of us to think that we know. And my mama taught me that, and I appreciate that. Who are you? Isn't it a powerful question? Who are you to decide? It's not my place to decide. That's between them and their God. If they are not telling the truth about what they need, that is not my karma. My karma is I tried. You know what I mean? I will tell you that, honestly. My karma is I tried. After that, it's off of my shoulders and onto someone else's shoulders, in my humble opinion. Okay, we have so much to talk about tonight. So we have smudged. I want to make sure that your questions get answered too. So we're going to go through what I have to talk to you about tonight as expeditiously as we can, and then I want to save some time at the end for Q&A. I want to make sure that any questions that you have, really, and if it's related to stones, that's great, and it might be even kind of off of stones, and that's okay too. That's right. Teresa said, whatever you do for the least of my brothers, judge not. Judge not. Can you imagine if we didn't judge each other? I don't know. The one thing I know for sure is I do not understand other people's relationships to their creator or to money or anything else, and it's not my business, so I stay out of that. Out. Okay. So tonight we're talking about octahedral crystals, okay? And I don't know. Kimberly's asking if it's a late start. I don't know if it's a late start. I was about 6 minutes late, but I've been kind of chit-chatting, so hopefully that's okay with you. We are getting into the meat of the class right now. It's true. So we're talking about octahedral crystals, and octahedral crystals, of course, are the 8-sided crystals, right? Octo in Greek means 8. Octopus has 8 legs. Octo in Greek is 8. And so it's one of my favorite crystal shapes to work with. Now, what's interesting is fluorite has done double duty, right? Because fluorite is both cubic and octahedral. So if you are not crazy if you're thinking, didn't we talk about fluorite a little while ago? There's a little bit of There's a little bit of overlap sometimes with the sacred geometry because there are crystals that are too different, of the sacred geometric shapes. And so just know that when and if you do see overlap this year, which isn't going to be all that often, I have to tell you, it's somewhat intentional, not just on my part, but on the universe's part. There is an overlap. Like I said, I have some websites of things I want to show you. But I also want to dig into the stones too. So as much as I can do tonight, we'll do. And if we have to pick it up later, we'll do that too. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I try to stay focused because I know I have some kind of type A people who really want like my Virgos and my Capricorns and my Tauruses who want all the, but then I also know I have my Libras and my Geminis and my Leos and my Sagittarius are kind of like, I want more of the free flow and kind of chit chat. So I try to balance both for you guys. Okay, I also have the sound to play for you. You know how I've played you the sound of each of the Platonic solids? Octahedron is one of the basic 5 Platonic solids. And Plato and Pythagoras, right? Plato and Pythagoras, Greek philosopher, Greek mathematician. Pythagoras is really the father of mathematics, right? And I was telling my kids, I said, I did not appreciate math enough growing up. If I had known that math really was so integral to what matters to me. In other words, I knew at 6, 7, 8 years old that all I wanted to do is what I'm doing today. I was already into crystals. I was already into magic. I had already begun having conversations with certain people in my family about what I do today. And so I already knew I wanted to do this work. I did not know at 6, 7, 8, 10, even 12, 13, 14 years old, going into junior high and high school when I was taking geometry, I didn't know that it was all related. And I wish I could go back now and be young again and redo some of those basic, especially the geometry of math, right? I wish I could go back to that geometry class. Unfortunately, I didn't have teachers who really wanted to anchor anything in that either. It's really funny because the house that I went to for Passover this year, for the Seder, every year there's new people, and so there was somebody there I didn't know, and I kind of like keep to myself during high holidays because I have purple hair and I don't want to freak people out, so I kind of keep to myself a little bit. But this woman was sitting next to me, and so she started a conversation, and she said, I asked her what she did, and she said, I'm a math teacher. And I said, what level of math do you teach? And she said, I teach geometry. And I looked at her and I said, do you now? And she said, I bet you and I have a lot in common. And I said, we certainly do. And I said, and I wish that my math teacher had talked to me about sacred geometry. I wish there had even been a mention of, I don't know, energy or just anything, or the connection to the universe, that our entire universe is in fact geometric and mathematical. And everything that you appreciate in our universe, including the beauty of everything around you, is beautiful because it's symmetrical, because it's mathematical. We are conditioned to think that things that are even and symmetrical, even people who have symmetrical faces, are thought to be more beautiful than other people. I have a highly symmetrical face, I've been told. Some people don't, and so it's like your cultural norms of what beauty is in terms of like how much of a proportion of your face is your nose versus your eyes versus your mouth. That is geometry. It's symmetry. And so when we say, oh, this is so beautiful, if you ever say find yourself saying, oh, this is so beautiful, ask yourself why you think it's beautiful. You think it's beautiful because it's mathematical, because it's equal, it's symmetrical. There is a unified vision for what you're looking at, right? When you think about a beautiful garden, it's usually organized very well, right? So anyway, I leave you with that to think about that. The octahedral crystals align to the heart chakra, which shouldn't surprise you all that much, actually, because the heart chakra, it depends on what you think the center of your body is, doesn't it really? Technically, the heart chakra is the center of the body. The octahedron, in many ways, is the center of sacred geometry, because it's the complete balance of above and below, even more so than the hexagon, right? And in fact, the octahedral crystals usually have 2 pyramids. Think about your fluorite. Is this not the most incredible example of symmetry, right? I mean, complete symmetry. One of you is taking this home, and I'm really excited for you about it, because I have to say, I haven't seen a mostly blue fluorite octahedron before. I don't even have one of these in my collection. It is perfectly terminated. Isn't it beautiful? This should just be sitting on your altar all the time. I'm showing it to you because I want you to know if you like it or not, so that when we do the giveaways at the end, you know whether to say, that's mine. Appreciate that. But think about that for a minute. It is the absolute perfection. It is the absolute above and below, right? And so that symmetry is important. The heart chakra is the central chakra of your body. You have 3 above and 3 below by the 7 chakra model. By the 7 chakra model, and then you have 6 above, 6 below by the 13 chakra model, okay? And in that model, you have multiple chakras above your head, multiple chakras below the root, including the earth star below you and the soul star above you. And so that is a much more complete picture. Amy wants to know if she can pet this, by the way, so that might be a sign, I don't know. Michelle says she's an octofluoride hoarder. That sounds like an official title, doesn't it? Like, hi, my name is Michelle. Oh, hi, Michelle. Nice to meet you. What do you do? I'm an octofluoride hoarder. Oh. Well, isn't that interesting of you? As above, right? So heart chakra. The heart chakra is the center of your body. In the shamanic tradition, there is a shamanic medicine wheel, actually. And so instead of just having north, south, east, and west, in the shamanic medicine wheel, there's a heart in the center. And that's because the heart is the center. The center is where spirit lies. It's where love lies. It's where you lie in the center of that medicine wheel. And so that's why I think when we think about the octahedral or octagonal crystal structure, we think about it as having an even center, and that even center is your heart chakra. Makes sense then that it would align to the planet Venus, which governs the heart chakra, of course. And then Venus is associated with the air element. So there's a lot of, what's interesting is fluoride is actually a wind element stone, which means there's lots of movement, lots of air, lots of clarity. All fluoride knows how to do. The only thing fluoride knows how to do is create clarity. Right? That's the only thing. These are your palm stones from this set. That's the only thing fluoride knows how to do. It's pre-programmed. But all of your stones are pre-programmed. If you take just one thing away from being with me this year, I hope it is that your stones are intentionally pre-programmed to work on certain things for you in alignment with certain outcomes. And that is partly a result of its crystal structure. Does that make sense? So if you're a Libra or a Gemini, right, you're going to find these stones to be especially comforting, I would say. The other stones, magnetite is earth element, and then garnet is also earth element. So we have one air stone in your set, and then we have 2 earth stones in your set. Yeah. I am too. It's funny. Annette says she's drawn to fluorite and selenite. I am too, actually, and I think that's a perfect pairing because the selenite brings, peace and happiness and clearing of energy. Fluorite's more of like a mental clarity stone. When people say, "Oh, I can't think clearly," or it's really good for menopausal folks. We don't think so clearly when we're menopausal, so it's really good for that. But it's also just really good for clearing the air, right, obviously, because if you've had a fight or any kind of disagreement, fluorite can kind of like smooth that over. And so you could use selenite to clear the negative energy. You could use fluorite to create better clarity in your relationship if you've had a difficulty or a disagreement with someone. So that's one way to use your stone. What else do I want to tell you? Okay, so think of your stones that way. You've heard me talk a lot lately about energy streams, right? Your stones are aligned to energetic streams. And so you need to have stones aligned to each of the streams that you want to work with. When you want to work with clarity and manifestation, the stones that we're using tonight are exactly what you need to go and grab out of your drawer. The magnetite is the ultimate manifestation stone. It's small, but it's mighty. Magnetite brings to you what you desire. And a lot of times, here's what's really cool about magnetite. You ready? Magnetite brings to you more quickly what is already on the way. So a lot of times people work with magnetite and they're like, oh, look what I manifested. And it happens so fast. And what I always say is, whatever magnetite brought you was already coming to you. It just sped up the process a little bit. Does that make sense? So when people say, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm waiting. I've lit my candle. I've been working with the things. I've set my intentions and it's not happening fast enough. A lot of times what I say, and it is the same as lodestone, by the way, but I like to work with it. Lodestone oftentimes is tumbled, whereas magnetite is almost always in the octahedron. So I like to work with it in its natural form rather than the tumbled. We do often have magnetite in matrix, by the way. it just sells out really fast. So, and we also had really big, do you remember back in the day we had those really big magnetite octahedrons? Can't find those anymore, which is kind of a bummer. But what I've been trying to teach across my classes, and so you're hearing me, it's fun, you're hearing me talk about this in different contexts, right? Like last night I was talking in the Cosmic Comfort Meditation about how there are energy streams, and in order to change your experience, you have to align with a new energy stream. So you have to say, okay, I want to feel more peace in my life. So I'm going to align with the energy stream of peace, which means you're going to stop aligning with energy streams of anxiety or whatever. So tonight's stones are automatically aligning you with clarity and manifestation, is my point. They're already pre-programmed. They already have the crystal structure. That's right, Annie, this would be a great set for selling a house. It would also be a great set when I've done real estate transactions. I just bought a house last summer. I was given those owner stones, and every time I would go and see the house that I knew it was my house before it was actually my house, I would leave a stone there, just a tiny little chip stone, every time I came. And part of it was to try and bless the sellers as they were leaving, because they were selling the house, so somebody was going to buy it. And part of it was to attach my own energy. I gave crystals to the real estate agent. I gave a beautiful green quartz, a chlorite quartz, to her assistant, who just was there every time we looked at the house. She was the one who let us in. So I believe that gemstones in real estate are partners. I think selling a house, buying a house, trying to set the intention for just the perfect buyer for your house is also really something that you can do with crystals. So the octahedral crystals form a 1440 degree shape. Okay, you want to see what's interesting? Guess what else is 1440? You're going to see my shitty handwriting again. Sorry about that. I'm still old school, and I like to write things with a pen, so I don't always type things, and I'm sorry, but maybe if I was younger, I would type things. But I'm old, and I have pretty pens, and I like to write things with my hands. I also think handwriting is magic. I really do. Okay, so guess what else is a perfect 1440? The star, the pentagram, right? So you have 180 degrees in each one of those triangles, and then a perfect 540 right in the center. You add all that up, you get 1440. Guess what 1440 reduces to? 9 or 90, okay? Guess what? 90 and 9, all of those relate to the star card in the tarot, among other things. 9 is the number of completion of a full cycle, including the cycle of a wish, okay? So there is a cycle of energy associated with a wish, and it's completed at 9. I am fascinated with 9s. I was born on a 9 day. I was born on August 9th. And in my astrological chart, I am at the final degree of every house. Okay, I'm either 29 degrees. I'm right at the end of each of the cycles in my astrological chart. So 9 is a number that is just, it's all over me. Now, when you see a chart like that, that's someone's last life. When the number 9 is all over the chart, not just the life path number, but I mean the degrees of the house, of what's happening in the houses, that is the chart of someone who is not coming back. That's one of the first things an astrologer ever told me about my chart. She looked at it and she goes, "You're not coming back." And I said, "I know. Everything is at the last degree." I know. I'll be here for a little while longer. But I'm not coming back. I'm all done. I've worked very hard, you guys. I have healed so much karmic debt for myself and other people in this life that, and I know that's exactly why I am here. So if you're all 9s, that's what's happening. It's very interesting. Nikola Tesla, famous physicist, said this: if you only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then you would have the key to the entire universe. And that's because Nikola Tesla understood that the number 9 is so significant to the entire magical process that's what that is. Okay. So if you are a 9 life path, tonight is for you. I'm going to show you a quick little clip about the number 9 if I can find it. Tonight's for you if you're a 9. Remember we talked about 9s. Do you remember what I told you about 9s? The fact that 9 people are usually on their last life, They usually are somewhat ready to ascend. They are usually highly spiritual people. Rachel's a 9. Who else is a 9? Yeah, so if you, tonight's for you if you really want to talk about big magic, because of the fact that we're going to be talking about Metatron's Cube, and we're going to be talking about 3, 6, 9, and 13. By the way, everything I'm talking tonight also relates to the golden mean, or the Fibonacci spiral. We don't have quite enough time. Look at all those 9s. Holy, holy. Paulette, Michelle, Shelley, Dot Longmore, Shelley Santos, Heidi Kelly. I'm skipping a couple because I can't even read them all. Becca's daughter's a 9. Peggy's a 9. Oh my God. And then if you're a 3 or a 6, anybody else a 3 or a 6? If you're a 3, 6, or a 9, or if you're a 13 that reduces down to a 4, tonight's entire class is about you. And if you're a 3, 6, 9, or a 13 that reduces to a 4, your life, even if your life path is about something else, really, like 6 is about the loner and the philosopher and figuring out who they are as people and what their soul gifts are. 3 is about think of the 3-legged stool, right? It's the triangle, but 3 is the couple plus 1. 3 completes the family, the nuclear family, and so there's this beautiful balance and procreation associated with 3. Interesting. Sarah is a 33-6. Holy smoke, Sarah. So Sarah has a master number, 33, that reduces down to a 6, which is more special than a 42-6. Do you know what I mean? Like, how you get to your life path number matters. I'm a 37-10. And there's different ways to get to 10. I'm a 37 to a 10, which is also a 1. That's why I'm a 110. I have a dual life path number. My daughter's a 3, so I see Jen says her son is a 3. My daughter's a 3. Maria's a 3. The 3s are beautiful, sensitive people. They usually have something of a young soul, but they're very, very wise, and they're very, very sensitive. Isn't that cool? Vonnie's also a master 6. So cool. Michelle, her boyfriend is a 33-6. Right? Okay. So if you're a 30, then you're a 3. Whatever your double digit number is, reduce it down to a single digit number, and that's how you know what your life path is. Isn't that fun? I mean, so many of you guys are 3, 6s, 9s. Is anybody a 13-4? Is anybody getting to 4 from 13? So 27, Teresa, you are a 9. 2 plus 7, right? So whatever your double digit number is, you add those two numbers up together, and then you get your final number. I want you to see this clip, okay? I'm going to play this for you because I think it's important. that cool? Woo, right? Mind blown. Mind blown. I'm going to pop this link into your Facebook group right now because I want you to have it and I don't want to forget. Okay, so I'm just going into GemWise right now. This is me posting in case you're like, how did she post and she was in class at the same time? I'm just posting the link. Okay, so that's already there for your viewing pleasure later. Was that amazing or what? So the reality is all of our sacred geometry at the end of the day returns to 9. 9 is one of the most important numbers we can possibly think about. That's right. Kristen's linking this to holograms. I mean, you know, we cannot overlook crystal structure and sacred geometry. And the mathematics of sacred geometry. This is the code. I mean, and by code, what I mean is this is the code to healing. This is the code to evolution. This is the code to ascension. This is the code that connects our entire planet. I mean, we've talked about vortices and ley lines, right? And if you think that the number 9 isn't embedded in every single vortex and ley line, that video shows you right there. It actually is. I mean, it is everything and nothing at the same time. It is the totality of creation, and it is the void. And you know, by my definition, that's what a vortex is. It is everything and nothing all at once, right? You go to a vortex where there's all this energy, and you find that everything is there, like there's the totality of all creation, and yet it is a void. You come to it, and there's an emptiness to it. And I think that's the magic of our universe in many ways too. Okay, now let's talk about 1440, right? I told you that 1440 is the number of degrees inside of an octahedron. And so when you take the isosahedron, which is 2,330 degrees, you subtract the degrees in the octagon or the octahedron, the result, I'm sorry, when you divide it, 2330 isosahedron divided by 1440, which is the octagon, you get 1.6180, which is the golden mean, or the Fibonacci sequence. And if you use the Fibonacci sequence, I just want to show you this, and then I won't show you anything else. The Fibonacci sequence is the pattern of all creation, but I found the coolest blog today. You ready? Where it actually shows how interior designers use the Fibonacci sequence, which is based on the number of degrees in the shape of the stones that we're talking about tonight. Are you ready for this? How fun is this? So this is not a video, this is a blog. I apologize for trying to show you all this stuff at once. But these graphic designers are using, this is the Fibonacci sequence, which is, you know, the small and then winding around that spiral of creation, right? And it's every single number in the Fibonacci sequence. Each number is the sum of the previous two. And we're getting into kind of heavy mathematics right now. But this is how designers design rooms, okay? So it goes through and it shows you, let me see if I can find it to show you the exact photo. So Greek architecture is actually based on the Fibonacci sequence. It begins here and it expands outward. Is that incredible? And they tie this all to the math. They can even show how some of the art, like the art of the Last Supper, has the Fibonacci sequence in it. Exact degrees. And it goes on and on and on. Incredible. Look at Sarah says that she uses it in editing as a professional photographer too. It is the rule of thirds in photography. Isn't that incredible? So stuff you've been learning all your life. If you're a photographer, if you're an interior designer, if you're a mathematician, you've been studying magic all your life. And you weren't, you know, maybe you were, but some people have not been putting this together, I guess is my point. And so I think it's really, really important. By the way, here is another website. This is where we're talking about, well, let me get into the stones and we can always come back to that. Okay. Well, I want to show you the sound of the octahedron. That's the one more thing I really want to show you before I close this down for good. So here is the sound. Are you ready?
Next up is the octahedron. Constructed of 8 triangles, this shape totals 1440, which is another perfect F sharp higher up the scale. The icosahedron is made up of 20 triangles, so the total number of degrees is 30.
Okay, so then note the octave of your octahedron is F sharp. F sharp. Isn't that cool? Okay, so the octahedron has 8 symmetrical faces, 6 vertices, and 12 edges. And by the way, that all adds up to 8, which I think is pretty cool too. By the way, 9, the only other thing that nobody else talks about with 9, but I think is really important, 9 divided by 3 is what? 3. Incredigem is asking, what does that mean if it made me cringe? F sharp is such a high note, and it's a sacred octave. Our body isn't used to hearing it. It actually activates your central nervous system. All of the higher megahertz octaves and sounds activate a higher order frequency in your brain, and a lot of us react to that, especially if we haven't heard it before, by going it's just not any sound that we're used to hearing anymore. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. Why is 3 important to us as metaphysical people? Maiden, mother, crone, right? The 3 phases of the moon. God, God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. 3 is sacred in every spiritual tradition. So you also have to recognize that the 3 is embedded in the 9 and how important the 3 is to all of the metaphysical work that we do. Isn't that funny? The animals are like, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's very interesting. Yes, it is. It is the high heart chakra note. So it's all related. Okay, so let's dig into our stones. I want to talk about each of these with you in the time that we have. Yeah, it does. Well, here's the thing, Julie. So a lot of these higher octave frequencies, these sounds, these tunes that we're not used to hearing, it's actually important for your body to hear them. And believe it or not, these sounds that are related to sacred geometry are how the pyramids were moved. And we've talked about this before, right? If you use the correct frequency, you can move structures. You can break glass. You can, sound is very, very powerful when it's loud enough and when it's at the right frequency. And so, again, it's like, you're not used to hearing them, so it's sort of like fingernails on a chalkboard, but it's really important. Some of your animals slip right through it. Anyway, so that's that. So let's talk about fluorite. Let's start right there. So fluorite, which is your palm stone, we talked about this before, on the measure of hardness scale, on the Mohs scale, it's a 4, which means it is brittle. If you drop it, it will crack. When it cracks, it will continue to crack and break down to additional octahedrons. Now, they may not look like octahedrons, okay? Like if I threw this at the computer right now and it shattered into a bunch of pieces, it might look like slivers, but if you put them under a microscope, they are smaller octahedrons. And just like we've talked about, I don't want to kind of overwhelm you guys, but particle physics, right? Quantum physics is really this idea that the part contains the whole, right? That I, as a human being, have everything in my soul, in my genetic code, and in my energetic field. I have everything inside of me that exists within the entire universe. And so what that means from a quantum physics perspective is I don't have to look outside of myself to create anything. I am the universe contained in one form. So the part contains the whole. That's particle physics. And so that's why I'm saying when you drop your fluorite, people have written in and said, I thought you said when I drop my fluorite, it would break into a bunch of octahedrons, but look, and they're showing a picture, right? Like, but look, I broke it and it slivered. It's not an octahedron. And then they say, oh, I have to look at it under a microscope. And so that's the thing to remember. But your stones, even if you break it 1,000 times, it's going to continue to break into its original crystal structure. That's particle physics. That's the part contains the whole. Does that make sense? And that's why quantum healing is so important, because if you have the entire universe within you, there isn't a single thing that you need outside of yourself to create healing or manifestation of any kind. You are the entire universe captured in one essence. So fluorite is aligned with sun signs Capricorn and Pisces. And part of that is the metaphysical properties too, I think. I don't decide what the correspondences are. We offer you the correspondences based on the research that we do. So I didn't make these up. But when I look at it and kind of gut check it, it makes sense to me. Two of the signs in the zodiac who have the deepest clarity are Capricorns and Pisces. Their clarity, I'm so glad you guys are liking this. The way that they get clarity, though, could not be more different. Capricorn gets clarity by understanding other people's motives. That's how Capricorn gets clarity. Capricorn understands its own motives, and then it wants to understand other people's motives too, and that's how it makes decisions. That's how Capricorn accesses clarity. Pisces accesses clarity via the imagination. So Pisces looks at what's happening, and in order to understand their world, they look at it through the lens of what's happening in their own very active imagination. So they use their schema, like, oh, I understand this because I remember I imagined this other universe. And so that, so they go into their imagination. It's like a storehouse of information for Pisces. They're not as much interested in what's going on with you or with your motives. They're more interested in kind of what's going on in their mind and how they can attach external, experiences or information to an internal schema that makes sense for them. Does that make sense? So two very different ways of seeing the world. By the way, you're not going to find two people who frustrate each other more. Capricorns super tend to not like Pisces, and Pisces tend to super not understand Capricorns. I have known people who are Capricorns and Pisces and married to each other, though, and have beautiful relationships. It just requires the Capricorn to appreciate imagination, which can be a struggle for them, and it requires the Pisces to appreciate the Saturnian influence of Capricorn, which can feel like an ass-kicking. Let's be honest. Capricorns are here to kick ass. But we're really grateful for that because we would only make the amount of progress that we do in our world with Capricorns. We need Capricorn energy in so many ways. They're ambitious, and you can't blame them for it. Too funny. Yeah, I mean, it works for some people, and it has to work for you. So fluorite is a stone that you can use to discern what your life path should be. And I've been telling you that for a long time. What I love about GemWise is this is my chance to tell you why. You know what I mean? Like, we focus on the what forever, but we don't always talk about the why. And I'm a big proponent of why because I'm a skeptic and I'm an academic and I want people to tell me why. I want them to show me data and help me understand that. And what I'm about to tell you about the why isn't so much scientific. It's more related to the crystal structure itself. So think about the Dorji. There's a lot of metaphysical symbols that represent the above and below, right? Where there's this flat plane that represents your current state of consciousness, and then there's your higher self, and then there's your material self, right? And so the way the fluorite activates this understanding of what your soul path is and what you're meant to do is it looks at where you are today, and it helps you understand where you're going and where you came from. Does that make sense? And a lot of us don't make decisions based on that. A lot of us don't step back and go, okay, so we ask ourselves, where do I need to go, or what do I need to do, or what new job should I get? But we don't stop and think, where am I going and how did I get here? That's how you make good choices. And I think that's why fluorite is really such a powerful stone. And again, whoever gets this tonight really should be somebody who's like, you know what, I need that. I need to reflect on where I've been, and I need to think about where I'm going, because from that place, even if you don't know what's going to happen, right? Just from that place of knowing where you've been and kind of what you want, I'm so glad you're enjoying it. From that place, you make a choice about your life path. It's going to be much more informed and aligned with your purpose than just going, I don't know, I guess I'll take that job because it's the only offer I have, or I guess I'll take that job because it's good money. Do you know what I mean? So Becca's asking, why would she be kind of turned off from fluorite? Here's the thing. Not every stone is your medicine at every turn. That's why I've told you guys, like, maybe there's going to be some months where you're just not into the stones. Our next month, I think most people will be into, because we're talking about ascension and we're working with apophyllite and all these like crazy energies, right? So we're gonna astral travel a little bit next month in GemWise. So I think most people are gonna be really into what we're doing in June. But there may be a month where you're like, not really into that. That could be because for a few reasons. First of all, not everybody's ready for total clarity. There are times in your life, I've been through multiple of them actually, and one in my 30s and one in my 40s in particular that I can point to, where I kind of liked the ambiguity. Does that make sense? Have you ever been there where it's sort of like, I don't want to know everything right now. I kind of just want to be where I am and just see how life unfolds. I don't want to push the river. I don't need to know more right now. And in fact, there's a beauty sometimes to not knowing. And so that's okay. Like, I have zero judgment about that, because I actually think when you need the clarity, you'll pursue it. But unless and until that happens, then that may not be. I've had those moments. That's why I have a lot of empathy for people who are like, I'm not into it right now. So that's great. That's okay. Now, magnetite, by the way, most of your fluorite, I talked to you already about the elemental correspondence. It's a wind element stone, lots of movement, lots of change, lots of transition. And that could be the other reason you get turned off from fluorite too, by the way, because it does tend to facilitate there's this transition, this transformational energy. And you might be feeling like, you know what, sometimes like I don't want, my rings are bothering me tonight. I'm at a certain point in my cycle. I don't want rings on anymore, so bear with me. But you may, there may be a point where you're just like, that's not my medicine right now, and that's okay. Magnetite comes mostly from Mexico and China, by the way. Fluorite does. I like them both. I think Chinese fluorite is really beautiful. China, by the way, produces the only yellow golden fluorite in the world. Did you know that? I have a huge, I don't know if you can see back there. If I turn this a little bit, way back in the corner there, under that mudra picture, right? How do I point my finger there to show you? Right. I'm getting there, right? Oh, I'm having a hard time. It's back there. Anyway, there's a big hunk of yellow fluorite. Okay, magnetite. I know I look naked, but my rings were hurting me. It's that time, so I can't do that tonight. I would love to give you a tour. We should do that one of these days. If we have a little extra time when I'm done, I'd kind of walk you around the building, or the room at least. So this is magnetite octahedron. So Lorian has no air in her chart. Isn't that interesting? Lorian, that's how I feel with water stones. I'm always like, gimme, because I don't have any water. Like I literally have just no water. And so I'm always like thirsty, for that. Literally and figuratively. Okay, magnetite on the Mohs scale of hardness is a 6. This is a little durable dude. It doesn't have a sign correspondence, although I guess I would say it probably is more aligned to the earth and fire signs, which tend to be more of the manifesting signs. The water and air signs less so, although water is a manifestation element. And I have known plenty of people, especially Cancers and Scorpios for whatever reason, huge manifestors. I have especially Scorpio, because Scorpio is really clear about what Scorpio wants. So they manifest well because they're like, I know what I want. So it could be a water sign too. Earth element, and your magnetite usually comes from Sweden, but there's other countries in Europe too that are producing fair amounts of magnetite, but it is for the most part all European. There's a little bit of Chinese magnetite that you find occasionally. Okay, so magnetite is for manifestation. It magnetizes what you want. This is a powerhouse. I know it's small, but it's all you need. When it comes to things like magnetite, size does not matter. So if you're trying to manifest something, I remember I told you when I kept going to my house and I really wanted my house and I wasn't sure it was going to happen, one of the stones I planted in the front yard was magnetite. By the way, I've left those stones there. And you can also place, if you ever do in Magical Sabbatical, we made these, I still work with mine all the time. We made these little honey jars, these wishing jars last year in Magical Sabbatical. I'm working with Yamaya or Yamaya, her energy. And so also, because these magnetize energy to you, and you can put your magnetite in your wishing jar too. So if you ever want to do any crafts and add a stone that is good for magnetizing and manifesting, this is the one, for sure. And then grossular garnet, which is also octahedral in its crystal structure, is green. It is green. And grossular garnet comes in natural as well as tumbled. And this is a tumbled form of it. The natural is very pretty. I like the tumbled form of it a lot. I think it's a little translucent. It's pretty. It's very different. Yeah, we need to get back to crafting. Not sure how to do that exactly, because the crafts, I don't have one of those fancy like Food Network cameras where like it's up above me and you can see my hands doing the things. I always tried to do my best to make the crafts really clear, but I always felt like you needed one more angle to see things from. So grossular garnet, measure of hardness scale, or the Mohs scale, 7.5, aligned with Aquarian energy, as well as Virgo. And so it's both an air and an earth stone, which is very similar. You're seeing a pattern. And then this comes from Africa, from Kenya, or from Mali. The pieces that I have for you for your listing from your set that you bought are from Kenya. Isn't it gorgeous? I love African stones. I love them. They have a deeper, older. In vibration to me than almost any other stones I've ever worked with. And so I think they are among the most special too for that reason. Now, grossular garnet is incredibly healing. We know, I mean, think about the garnet family, right? Spessartine garnet or spessartite garnet, depending on how you pronounce it. You have your almandine garnet. You have rhodolite garnet. You have, obviously, you have your grossular garnet, which tends to be green, maybe sometimes a little bit yellow. We actually have golden garnets coming for you. We just bought them. And we're going to do something special. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet, but we're going to bring them to you in a special way because they're just so super rare. And so, yeah, so, and hessonite, of course. Hessonite is the moneymaker garnet, right? Hessonite, in Indian culture, if you have a 2-carat or larger hessonite stone, it is thought to magnetize money to you. So you have to work with at least 2 carats of it. You can also work with a necklace where the total number of carats exceeds 2 carats. So you know those, like, we had beaded necklaces a while back. They sold out really fast because people know hessonite is like money, 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 money. But anyway, so those are all the different kinds of garnets that you can possibly work with. The green garnet has healing properties. Did you know that? So this, in addition to everything else that it does, is a healer. It's a heart healer. It is, of course, a heart chakra stone given its color, which is why it fits perfectly well with this entire, not just in terms of its crystal structure, but in terms of its chakra alignment too. And so grossular garnet is grounding, healing, and stabilizing. Those are the energies. So if you think about the totality of the set, you're asking for clarity with your fluorite, you're asking for manifestation with your magnetite, and then you're working with grounding, stabilizing, healing energies with your grossular garnet. And all garnets, I mean, throughout history, garnets have been so important. They're mentioned in the Bible. They've been used since ancient times in Greece and Rome and around the world. And it's always, I mean, almost always been imported from Africa. So there's always been a route whereby African garnets find their way to the rest of the world. That's right. Demantoid and Tsavorite are the rarest. Leave it to Diane, because Diane is a rare stone fiend and a collector. Tsavorite garnets and Demantoid garnet are the 2 rarest. The Tsavorite is a bright, bright green, and the Demantoid, I mean, like dark green, like almost like an emerald green is Tsavorite. It's from Savo in the world, so that's where the name comes from. And then the Demantoid garnet, it usually comes in teeny tiny pieces, also African, very light green. I have a necklace actually that has a Demantoid on top of it that Sylvia made for me. So that's the world of garnet. It was really fun at the Tucson show. I actually did a video. Did you see it? When I was with the African vendors and all of their garnets. Did you guys see that video? Were you there? Anyway, if you go back in the archives, you're actually going to see a video from Tucson where I recorded it with men who had flown in from Mali and Kenya with all their garnets, and they told us all about, their garnets, which I thought was beautiful. I love garnet too. I do. So, do you have questions? What can I tell you about? Weren't they cool? Kristen remembers, Pamela remembers, Becca remembers. So you remember that. So this is the same energy, right? Same people, same energy. In fact, those men were just here. They flew into LA and they reached out to me and to Dave and said, hey, if you guys are around and we're in town, remember you guys were here in LA. And so they were actually here at our shop. Just maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. Isn't that cool? It's really fun because we keep in touch with everybody, and because everybody flies through LA at some point during their year, we end up seeing a lot of our friends who come and visit. Yeah, the guys at the motel. So they were here from Africa and stopped by Sage Goddess, and they gave us more garnets, which is really cool. So how do you use your magnetite for manifesting? Okay, a few things I want to say about manifestation. It's a great, great, great question. So the manifestation stones tend to be your solar plexus stones. So think of yellow apatite, citrine is a great manifestation stone, or they tend to be root chakra stones. Think of, drawing a blank. Arvedzenite and magnetite are 2 of the most powerful. If you have citrine, yellow apatite, arvedzenite, and magnetite, you kind of have the 4 heavy hitters for manifestation. And those are stones that, just like I said, your stones come pre-programmed to you. You don't have to do anything. The number one question I'm asked, I'm so glad you liked it. The number one question I'm asked, and I'm asked it every single day, is what do I do with these things? Like, I hear you talk about manifestation. What do I do with it? And here's the cool part about crystals. You don't have to do anything. Now, they want to work with you. They want to meditate with you. And so one of the things that I do when I'm working on manifestation work, and get your stones out now, because we're going to set a new moon intention together right now. So gather up some stones. I'm going to work with, I've got my little citrine power cube here. We had these in the shop a little while back. I'm going to work with that. I'm going to work with a double terminated quartz point. Just to send and receive energy. That's this. That's what double terminated wands do. If you saw my video yesterday, you heard me talk about that. So I'm going to send and receive energy. I'm going to use my citrine power cube and then my magnetite. Okay. And I'm calling in a little healing too. So I'm going to grab my grossular garnet. Okay. And what you do is you can hold them in one hand and cover them with the other. If you want to hold them with your right and cover them with your left, you can do that too. And then close your eyes. And I want you to think of a sentence that's your intention for today. And it should begin with, I desire or I call in. Okay? I seek, I desire, I call in, I receive is another beautiful affirmation for your intention, I receive. And think about it for a moment. What are you calling in? What are you calling in? What is your intention for this new moon? What do you want to experience more of the next lunar cycle? Always remember, new moons are like that, right? So it's for the next 28 days that you're setting intention. That's a good, yeah, Claudia's asking what stones the 9 life paths should have. I should make a table, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll do that for you guys. With all the life path numbers and then all the stones that correspond, I think you guys would really appreciate that. So in my free time, I'll work on that. No, but in all seriousness, I've been thinking about doing that anyway, and so now you guys are inspiring me a little bit to get that done. Okay, so let's do that. What's your intention? I claim, I desire, I'm calling in, I receive, whatever it is. Come up with your sentence. Charlene's asking if you can just get the palm stones. Unfortunately, we put the sets together with the exact number that's needed. So I wish I could do that for you guys, but we don't have extra palm stones on top of our inventory, unfortunately. Okay, you ready? Once you have your intention set, it's great if you say it out loud, but you can just say it quietly in your mind. So say your complete intention. At this new moon, I desire, or at this new moon, I call in. And then at the end, you say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. You can also say, it is done, or you can just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Something that acknowledges the completion of your intention. Isn't that beautiful? And that is your new moon intention. And so you set that intention with your magnetite, which means you have added a layer of energy to attract what you seek, along with whatever it is you are seeking, whatever the stones represent. And it's as simple as that. Now, if you want to kind of like ramp it up just a little bit, add another layer to it, if you have any kind of labradorite, this is my new moon wand, you can also work with that. So what you could do, if you have a wand, this one is single terminated because it's got a labradorite bottom, but it has a quartz point, is you can actually connect the energy of the stones. So with this quartz, I'm magnifying my citrine. With this quartz, I am magnifying the vibration of my garnet. With this quartz, I am magnifying the energy of this magnetite. And you can also set the intention to connect the energy. So I'm connecting the quartz to the citrine, magnifying citrine. I'm connecting the quartz to the garnet, magnifying the garnet, connecting the quartz to the magnetite, magnifying the magnetite, and then back again to close that loop. You can open a circle around your stones just to create a container for them. And then when you're done setting an intention, you can use your wand again. By the way, whoever receives this tonight, this is a wand, right? You don't have to have labradorite. I have a lot of wands because I'm a wand collector. Isn't it cool? I'm trying to get this designer to offer us our wands again. We used to have them in spec sale. Do you remember that? We've probably sold 20 or 30 of them in specimen sale. I don't have any of them right now, but I can always reach out to her and see. Isn't she fun? Okay, so we've set an intention. Got to hold. You know, the biggest part of magic, you guys, the part you have to remember because it's the most important. You don't just set an intention and then doubt it, or you don't just set an intention and not continue the work. When I set an intention for whatever whatever I'm working with, every night after that I'm using those stones again, reinforcing the intention, calling it in, and then at the full moon I'm celebrating that intention. Thank you so much. And even if what I want isn't arriving already, Sometimes your intentions take a year to manifest, 2 years, 5 years, right? So at every new full moon, I celebrate. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the blessings that are arriving, even if they're not there yet. Maybe you feel crazy doing that, but that's faith, okay? What you don't do is go, well, it didn't, 24 hours later, well, it didn't happen, so never mind. And then people go, why aren't I able to manifest anything? It's a good wand, isn't it? That's so good. Deborah says she just got her first wand. I love that. They tend to multiply. I like to say they're like rabbits. You start with 1, and then you have 5, and all of a sudden you have 20, and then this was me in the past, not so much now, but my husband used to go, is that a new wand? And I would say, no. I've had this wand for a really long time. This is not the wand you are looking for. You know, that whole routine. Again, like I said, in the work I do now, he just knows I have 1,000 wands. But I remember a day where he was like, is that new? No, oh gosh, no, that wand's 100 years old. Okay. All right. So giveaway time. Ready? I'm going to blow out my candle. Woo. When you're using a stone tea light holder, just remember they conduct the heat, so they get very, very hot. Watch your fingers when you're using things like that. Jackie says, that's how she is with cats. That a new cat? Nope. Never saw that cat before. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. So, who is feeling called to that jumbo fluorite octahedron? Whose is this? Who does that belong to? Isn't it gorgeous? It has this kind of like light, it's not cracked, it's sort of like just an, you know, it's like just the stone, the natural stone, kind of lightish green, and then it turns to this dark, dark, dark blue. Oh, I know. Okay, this one goes to Tracy Connolly. This one goes to Tracy Connolly. I read all of you, as fast as I could, I read all of your names in the feed, and as soon as I saw Tracy Connolly's name, I know this is hers. So congratulations, Tracy Connolly. I'm really glad that you were here tonight. Okay. This is a rad cluster because it has sphalerite, magnetite, and fluorite, and they're cubes and octahedrons. All of those together. So this is going to attract clarity as well as power and prosperity. And it's just one little piece that will sit on your altar. Who would love this one? This is a good one. I know it's not as showy as the other pieces, but this one's really, really special. Isn't it pretty? Okay, you guys are speedy peeps. You guys are not on delay. It's just so fast. Let me see. Okay, this one belongs to Amber. Amber Fracastoro. Amber, where are you? Amber, this one is for you. And I hope you love it, Amber. I'm very excited for you to receive it. This one belongs to Amber. It's funny, the name drops out. Whoever's supposed to have it, it's like it almost jumps off the screen. So Amber, that piece is for you. I'm very excited for you. By the way, I just want to show you, before we're finished here, your kit for June. If you haven't gotten it yet, you should head to the shop and get it. Your price on the set is $19. You're going to get free flash tattoos today. And then you just have to spend $11 more to get the free bottle of Mega Money perfume. You get a beautiful apophyllite tip. Wait till I show you. I'm going to astral travel with you in June during our class using your apophyllite tip. I'm actually going to have you lay back, and I'm going to have you use your apophyllite tip to travel with me. So I'm going to teach you how to use this to open a very important portal of energy. So make sure that you grab this. And then check out the rutilated quartz. This is the most crazy, I don't know if you can see because the light in here is a little funky. This is the most crazy tumbled rutilated quartz I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, it's like sprays of rutile inside of it. So that is your new set for June, and we're going to fly together in June. Okay, 2 more giveaways. You ready? It's going to be really fun. It may be one of the deepest meditations in a class that we've ever done together. Because you guys are all interested in astral stuff. So I thought, you know what? Since we're studying holograms and holographic energy and sabbatical, I was like, we should do that together. Okay, are you ready? The person who gets this is getting magnetite, pyrite, spinel, a huge piece of spinel, by the way. I mean, this is like I would say this is probably a $30 to $35, maybe $40 gem set because it's got cuprite, which is super rare, and it has galaxite, which is super rare, which is microlabradorite. This is new moon, new beginnings, conducting energy, confidence, prosperity, clarity, power in one set. So who needs this? Who needs that? Who needs power and all those things? Power, clarity, healing, confidence. This conducts energy. If you have pain, put this where you hurt. It will help. I had a piece a couple nights ago. I had a migraine, put it at the back of my head, migraine gone, because it conducts. It actually, some of the materials in cuprite actually help to constrict the blood vessels. And so that's part of the way that it reduces pain and inflammation. So good, right? Okay, I think I know who this goes to. Jackie Poita. I had a feeling earlier when I saw her, and then when I saw her again in the feed here, I was like, no, this belongs to Jackie. Jackie, there's some healing work that you need to do with this set, and I don't know if it's for you or someone else, so please, please share that set. Jackie. Okay. Jackie gets that one. We're moving fast tonight. We only have one more giveaway. But it's the queen. I could scan you right now with it. Scanning, by the way, if you're not in sabbatical, I taught them last night in Magical Sabbatical how to scan for healing the physical body using a clear double terminated wand. And that's why sabbatical sisters are freaking the flip out right now. I know. It's so good, you guys. It is the queen. The best for last. That's right. Okay. I'm looking. I'm actually able to slow it down, which is really nice. Okay. So I think I know who this belongs to. I think I know who it belongs to. Tara Tryon. It's a big hit for me. I believe this belongs to Tara. Tara, can you confirm for me that you feel the same way? I think she does. Hey, Tara, are you there? Can somebody tell me if they hear from Tara? Did Tara pass out on the floor? Because I really want to make sure she's okay. Oh, she said OMG. She knows. Woo! Touchdown. Tara Tryon. She did. She did. So Tara, guess what? Tara. This is for you. For you. This is for you to scan you. Sometimes I tell people, you know, like I said with the gem set, that it might be for somebody else, right? Like Jackie might have to do some healing work for somebody else. Tara, this is for you. And I hope it blesses you with some serious healing energy. What I can tell you, I mean, my hand is so hot right now. After I said her name, I can barely hold this. The crystal is hot. My hand is hot. And so I think Tara might be somewhere passed out right now. But let me tell you, I absolutely believe with all my heart this is going to the right home. Oh, Tara, please don't pass out. It's very right for her. I didn't know who was going to at first. It's funny, when the hit comes, it's quite profound. So we have four girls tonight, sweet girls actually. I don't know all of you well, but I know half of you. And we have tools going to you that are really, really special. So just know it's coming from you to you, from me, from my heart, with so much love and so much healing. So I'm going to do a little, are you ready for some magical work? We're going to do this together really quick. I've got my hands over the stones. You can, if you have any stones that you want to charge right now together with me, just gather them up, put your hands over them real quick. We're going to do a blessing on these stones, okay? Tara's on the floor. Tara's on the floor, everybody. Get up off the floor, Tara. You got to do some work with me too. Gather a couple of stones you want to work with. We're going to charge them right now. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Then we're done for tonight. So, I like to call upon God. However you see your source creator, I want to call upon the one who created us all. I want to call upon our guides, especially our healing guides, our guides for manifestation and creation. So we're calling upon all of them right now to join us. Ancestors who want to support us in this work as well, we call you in. We call upon angels and archangels. There are 13 archangels to be specific. We're going to talk about Metatron's cube another time. I will come back to it. So I'm calling in all of the angels, all of the archangels, all the ancestors, all of the guides, calling upon Great Spirit, God, Goddess, Source, Creator, however you see, the one who made you. We ask tonight that across this entire circle of people who are gathered for this sacred class, we ask that you move through our hands tonight. Same energy that I'm experiencing, I ask that each person in the circle tonight feel that vibration, that warm frequency of healing and love. Let that pass through my hands and through each of the people's hands who's watching right now. Just, we're all working with the same vibration right now. So let's match frequencies. And in fact, if you want to, you can put your hands up to mine for just a minute. It's a nice way to match frequencies. So I'm setting this intention. If you put your hands up, you might actually be able to feel it. Do you feel? A lot of times people can. Even through the screen, they can feel like the warmth. If you put your hands really close to mine. I'm just sending that frequency to you so that you can catch it. You feel it? You feel it, the warmth through your hands? Once you feel like you've matched the frequency, okay, then we'll pull back and we're going to send that down to the stones. So we're sending this vibration, this frequency right to our stones together right now. And so I ask that each person in the circle tonight who is doing this work with me, bless their stones with healing, with power, with confidence. Bless them with the ability to manifest whatever is sought, as long as it's in perfect alignment with the collective good. I ask that energies of clarity pass through these stones for the person who's working with me this evening. Total clarity about their life, their soul purpose, what they need to be doing in this life, how to make money, how to be happy, what they need to do to protect their physical health and well-being. I ask that every aspect of your life tonight be blessed. Let's do it one more time. You want to do it one more time? Isn't this a power? I know this isn't gemstones like this part, but I want you to feel this because this is energy and this is how I work. This is how we work together. If you have time, let's just do it one more time. Just pick up the energy, let's match it, okay? Let's match that frequency together. I can feel you too. And then again, sending, calling it in, manifestation, clarity, power, healing. Healing of your relationships, healing of your family, healing of your physical body, healing of your mind, healing of your spirit. Clearing any karmic baggage that can be cleared tonight that's related to blocks around manifestation for you. We're healing and clearing all of that tonight on a quantum level. And then we're going to call that healing down onto the material level so that you feel better and happier and lighter and more peaceful. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. Amen, Aho, and so it is. Isn't it beautiful? Well, and so Mariah said she felt it, but then it went away. So what you do is you keep coming back to the touchstone. Pick up the vibration, send it out. And then pick up the vibration and send it out. Isn't it beautiful? I know, my hands are on fire too. That's magic. So thank you for working some magic with me tonight, everybody. It was a pleasure, truly. Truly it was to have you with me. 1,000, a million, a billion blessings to you on your path. We have much more ahead. So if you're, give me some feedback in the group. I want to talk about Metatron's Cube. We could do it as a bonus session. And we also have some bonus session stones to come back to. So if you'd like me to pick up Metatron's Cube and talk to you about it during our next bonus session, I would like to do that too. But you might have feedback like, you know, I mean, it depends on what you guys want. I like to kind of serve up what you're interested in. So just keep me posted. Lots of feedback is always welcome. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. I don't know about you, but that 90 minutes went by really fast. I hope you enjoyed every second of it. I'm going to pack these beautiful giveaways up and ship them out tomorrow, Friday. You guys should have them by beginning to mid of next week, depending on where you are. I hope you enjoy them. Know that they're gifts sent to you with so much love and healing tonight. I've charged them. I mean, the stones are literally vibrating on my altar. So enjoy. Lots of magic heading your way. I'll see you guys soon.